Hey guys, welcome back to the Tubes and Tires YouTube channel. As always, I'm Zach, and this week we're building this spinning shirt stand thing with a spinning sign on top for Toronto Motorama. So let's get at it.
Hey, is that Timmy's?
Yeah, because we're in Canada. Okay guys, well we're gonna jump right into it. This thing's like really confusing because we got like two moving parts. And if you haven't watched part one yet, go watch part one of me making the blazer seat and the little grill shell thing. I didn't show making the grill shell. You just gotta trust me that I built it. Lacey, oh, we got noise going on here. So I drew a visual picture of it out. I'm gonna show you that, and I'm gonna show you all the stuff that we're getting. I'm still waiting on stuff because it's the weekend right now. First thing is we have the center pole that's gonna run through the center. That's gonna hold the top sign and kind of stabilize the shirt portion. I got this like 3.5 inch, I don't know if it's, or 3 inch, whatever. It's like just plumbing piping I bought from Home Depot, just so that we can go around the other pipe. And then at the surplus store, I bought this little turnstile thing. That's gonna get mounted up a little higher. And then this is a rim actually off my blue truck. So that's, well, they were originally on it, and I wasn't a big fan of that 100-spoke thing on there. It looked kind of funny, but anyways. Then also at the surplus store, I bought some stuff. So I bought two different styles of motors. I got this smaller one, and I got this bigger one. I don't know which one's gonna work for the sign. And I got some pulleys that I gotta drill out and put onto the rod we're gonna use for the top thing. And then I bought this, it's like this little plug thing. And I had one of these things from a jacket. So I got this plug that we're going to use a battery, 12-volt battery, to operate the turning sign. And I bought a thing from Amazon that I'll be able to control the speed of the motor. So that's cool. We're using just speaker wire. I bought a heavier gauge one. I'm going to need some for the blazer anyways. So I figured that should work, and it should run down. You know, we're really trying to show the people stuff. Go over there towards my hand. But that's going to run down the center of the pipe going up to the top, and then we're going to make the control up there just so that there's not so much from the control to the motor. But then this is the drawing. Hopefully you guys can see this. If not, I'll get a closer picture. It's kind of confusing to look at. Here, I'll go closer to the light. So you can see this is the end goal, what we want this thing to look like. We got the two pipes with the running through, and then the sign up top, because I'm sharing the booth with my one buddy. So it's, we're also under the same brand for selling our shirt stuff, Lugnut Shop. So obviously shirt stand makes sense. And then there's going to be like Tubes and Tires and Kenny on one side, and obviously this thing's going to rotate around, so that's pretty cool. First off, with the bottom, I don't know if you guys can see that or if it'll focus. I might have to get a picture with my phone. The center pole is going to run all the way through the center of the rim. We're going to do some brackets on the bottom to bolt it to the rim to really stiffen up this pole. But then I'm going to make on brackets onto the pole that are going to bolt on to hold that turnstile thing that then the 3-inch tube is going to go over top of. So it can rotate, and then the wires are going to come down the center of this pole. That then we can run it out, and I'm going to make a little cap in there so we can change the batteries out. Then the top thing, it's also, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but there's going to be two bearings, so there's never going to be any weight on the motor. And then there's going to be the 1/4-inch rod with the two pulleys, and the motor's going to be in this top cap thing. So I got my work cut out for me to make this thing. We got plenty of time to make it because I finished off the other two things first. I still gotta make some stools, but that's a later Zach issue. I think the first thing what we're gonna do is we're gonna figure out the length of the center pole so that I can get that cut down and make up the brackets that are gonna bolt to the rim, and then we're gonna get that thing situated on top with some other brackets. Also, there's going to be some like special little hooks to hold the shirts, and what we're going to do is we're going to wrap the shirts around cardboard in the shape that we want to make them. So we're going to try to give it this Christmas tree effect. That's what these lines are here. So, but that's an after issue after I get figuring out that it's going to turn and the sign's going to work on top. So there's going to be a little bit of wiring. So let's get to her. All right, so I figured out that I'm going to make the center pole. I'm making it longer right now, just to actually what will fit in here. I'm making it's 7 foot 3 inches. That's, you know, what I can fit under the ceiling in here. The sign on top is going to be made out of foam, and it's going to be like almost 3 feet or something like that. So I'm going to cut this down. It's just, I'd rather have a little extra and work with it in here than, you know, than not have enough. Whoopee! There we go, cut off. Okay, so we got that pole cut down to length, and then I started making up these brackets. They're like little L brackets with a little radius on them. And I took a template of the bottom of the rim with the circle, and then I made it fit onto this pole. It's almost 100%. And then obviously we got our bolt pattern here for the bottom of the rim. And then I'm only gonna do 3. So once I get this first one welded in, I'll be able to go and then make sure that the other ones line up in the right spot that they're supposed to. And then the other thing I did is I took the pipe cutter, and I didn't cut all the way through, but I don't know if you guys can see that, but I marked a line all the way around so that I know that all these brackets are sitting at the exact same face. So we're gonna get those welded on, and then I'll probably drill it out and see if it bolts onto the rim. So we're getting to her. Okay guys, well, I got that pole cut, and then I've also done a little bit of other work. So you can see, I don't know, it's kind of tall here in the shop. It almost touches the ceiling, but I left everything like really long. It's kind of hard to show, but I welded on those 3 brackets, bolted it to the rim, and the rim has to slide over top of the pole, and the pole comes at the bottom. That was just to give this as much stability as possible, put the center of gravity, you know, really low down. And then all I did was I took, it's kind of hard to show. If I ever take this apart, I'll take some pictures and put it over top of this. But there's L brackets that on the main post, I used my riv nut gun, drilled some holes so you can bolt the L brackets to the center pole. And then the top's kind of like that, so I'll pull it down so you can kind of see what the gist is. But then this gyro thing just sits on those, and they're self-tapped to it. And there's one thing in here, because this, as soon as I put more screws into this, it wanted to bind, but now this spins pretty freely, so you'll be able to move the shirts pretty well. And if I pull this down, cooperate with me here. You can kind of see how this is with the aluminum brackets on the center pole. These ones aren't screwed on just because so I can slide this gyro cap off the top just in case if I have to take it apart. And this here obviously isn't screwed there, but everything spins on this pretty easy. So I'll probably make the brackets later because those are going to be like one of the more easier things. So now we're going to move on to making the top spinny thing. And I've actually, Lacey, you need to move. Get over here. So I've actually been doing some testing on a motor, well, multiple motors because I bought multiple. So obviously at the booth, you have to pay extra for power, and I kind of don't want to do that. So I have one of these things from like a Milwaukee jacket. So I figured out what size the plug was. Lacey, you really need to move. So then I bought this like clippy thing that clipped in some wires, and I bought this other thing offline that you can control the speed of the motor. Seems to work. I'm gonna have to find out the right ratio to make it spin the proper speed, because that thing only goes down so far. And then I've had some skateboard wheels and chuck, but these bearings were kind of stiff, and I didn't really like that. Lacey, look, you knocked over all those bearings. What have you been doing? Come on here. But oh yeah, I was using that thing again. But anyways, so I bought this. Lacey, you know what? Just okay. So I bought this 1/4-inch rod, and then I bought these like wheels off of rollerblades, and these bearings seem to spin really good. So now I'm going to try to cut this yellow portion off of the wheel, because we need to just lay down the gray part and make it fit into a sleeve that I'm going to make that can slide in the top of the pole, so the top mechanism can come off and everything's kind of removable so it doesn't break when we try to set it up. So I'm going to start cutting these, and then you'll probably see me when I'm on the lathe, lathing this stuff down to fit in a tube that I make to fit into the top of that thing. So here we go. Alright, so we just got done on the lathe, and so this is just the cut off piece, obviously off the top, and I was messing around with some pulleys, but if we snake this thing out, you can see I made a pipe and I just welded it so that I can make it so it fit tight into there, and then the rod, I just put a tack weld on it. And, you know, I should really invest in, you know, something to do this. Alright. So you can see the rod comes out of there, and then you can see it's like this. This one fits in snug, and then I don't know if this one is milled so it sits down the bottom. I still have to drill in a hole in this for the wires to pass through, and I'm gonna have to clean out just a little bit here for the wires to snake in, but you kind of drop it together like that, and then it slides perfectly into our tube, just like so. Now I'm gonna mess around with making pulleys and trying to figure out what the right size is. Obviously I bought the biggest pulley the surplus store had, but that's not gonna be big enough. It still spins too fast for the motor I have, and this thing that I bought is adjustable, so you can like turn up the speed and down the speed, so I'd rather have to turn it up then slow it down. So I have more of this plastic from the table we built, so I'm just gonna cut this out and I'm just gonna lathe a pulley, and we're gonna see how that goes. But I'll come back to maybe once we have some stuff a little more situated. So here we go. All right guys, well, I've been a little busy. I didn't want to make this video like too crazy long, so basically we're pretty well good here. So you can see that I have my motor in here, and to make this all work I had to do like a gear reduction. It's nothing too fancy. I just bought more of those you know, wheels from the surplus store, and then I just made a little thing to reduce the speed here. We got a 12-volt battery, and also I've been busy making the sign. I still got to put the other half into it. It's pretty simple. You can see that I just have this like factory edge bent on here for 1/2 inch, and then you can see the center portion can slide up into it. This side's a little trick because I had to drill little holes in the corner to be able to pull it up and put some silicone in there. But if I turn this on, there we have it, the spinning sign. It'll be spinning a little slower, but I can't get it going that slow with my one hand. But now I think we're going to throw the sign together. I'm going to finish up making up this little base so it looks a little cleaner down here so you don't see that stuff. And the next time you see this, it might be all on the friggin' post. And I still got some other stuff to make, but here we go. Okay, so we got the sign all finished up. I finished up the base. I got the knob on it. Lacey, you can't be walking on the sign, my guy. I ended up making it out of aluminum. I know I was going to make it out of styrofoam, but this seemed to work. The bearings held everything perfectly fine. So now I'm working on making hooks that actually hold the shirt. So I got this cut down to size. I got a top cap. There's going to be one in the middle. There's some information that's going to be put on those things. But I started off by making these bands. They're just like 3/4. I actually used this thing that I bought to make the quarter panels on the Blazer, so that worked out pretty cool. They fit onto this pipe perfectly, and then I made up these hooks and I bent them all out of one rod. I messed up a whole bunch, but that's okay. That's learning, I guess. But this is the rig, so it's going to be a 3-sided unit, so it'll be able to hold shirts from each kind of side. And then there is the center band that's going to get welded onto these 3. So there's 4 of these that are going to go on there to hold. There'll be like 4 shirts from each side kind of thing. So I think 12. So I'm going to finish up welding these things. So when you guys come back to this thing, it'll probably be finished. So here we go. Okay guys, well there we have it. I finished up all the hooks and everything. It's pretty tall. It just fits in here. Sorry about the lighting. But we got our knob up top to turn it on. Our power supply down at the bottom. I still got a few things to finish off, but I didn't want to bore you guys too much with everything. But you can see we're going to cut cardboard to put the shirts on, and I'm thinking this shape is looking pretty good, so that way you can view it from all sides. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, it just kind of looks like the sign is floating up there. We'll turn it on for you guys. You get her going, you kind of have to rev her up and then slow her down. Oh, she's just torquing out. Hold on here. I put a new battery into her. But yeah, that is the shirt stand spinning sign thing. Oh yeah, and that also spins around, so you can spin the shirts around. But I think that's gonna do it for now, guys. I really appreciate all you guys watching. Hopefully to see you at the show. Again, it starts on the 29th of April and goes for 3 days. I'm gonna be there. Got a little other exciting news too, but I'm gonna hold out for the next video. But thanks everybody for watching. We'll catch you next time, and don't forget to salute the beaver.